Right? All right. All right. Oi. Let's see. New York accent. Accent instruction by David Easton. New York City dialect. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10. One, 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 two, three, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, seven, eight, nine, 10. Lesson number two. Ah, oh, 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 ah, 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 stop, stop. Orange to orange, stop the food, stop, water, 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 orange, orange, orange. Spa, spa, onset, pocket, stop, stop, stop the onset, quality options, quality option, stop the onset, quality option. The light socket popped and shocked Donovan. The light socket popped and shocked. Father calmly pocketed the lion's ring. I fried slice fry, side, sized, sliced, sliced, slice, life, flight, flight, bike, hike, hike, bike, boy, boy, bike, bike, boy, bike, bike, fried, sliced, Freud, fried, Freud, fried, first, first, still, feel, feel, lightning, lightning, right, right, Michael, life, Michael, fried, fried, pride, pride, dime, fine, fine, cry, drive, 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 drive. Melissa was the pride of the whole science department. Fried pike is sliced thinly. Fried, fried pike for Friday night supper. The ivy vines were tied down, were tied, were tied down by the open shutters. The the ivy vines were closed by, were tied down by the uh, 7, 8, 9. Wow, fried, fried. Liza was the pride of the whole science department. Fried pike was sliced thinly. Friday night supper. Fried pike. Fried pike was fried neatly for Friday night supper. Fried pike was sliced thinly for Friday night supper. The ivy vines were tied down by the open shutters. Open shutters. The ivy, the ivy vines were tied down by the open shutters. Fried the ivy vines were tied down by the open shutters. Ivy vines, ivy. I, or, or, brought, 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 thought, thought, often, jaw, 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 flawless, lost boys become flawless at reform school. Lost boys become lost boys become lost boys become flawless at reform school. Reform Lost boys become reformed at reform school. Lost boys become flawless at reform school. Lost boys become flawless at reform school. School. Reform school. Horses often cost more than $4. Dollars. Horses often cost more than $4. Horses often cost more than $4. Horses often co- cost more than $4. Horses often cost more than $4. Often cost more than $4. The the dog fought the moth because the orphan jaw 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 flawless flawless. Lost boys become flawless at reform school. Often flawless. At reform school, courses often cost more than $4. Often cost more than $4. The short dog fought the dog fought the hawk because the moth thought war was normal. The short dog fought the hog because the moth thought war was normal. Was normal. The dog fought the hog because the moth thought war was formal and normal. The short the short dog fought the hog because the moth thought the war was normal. Ah, 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 ah. Except a vowel or a gloid B. Scab, lab, cabaret, fabulous. Ha, ha, cabaret, fabulous. Cabaret, cabaret, fabulous. Bottom of the ninth. Bottom of the fifth. Tab, cabbage, abolition. B, bad, mad, attic. Saddle, saddle, paddle, after, hat, laugh, daffodil, raffle, daffodil, not daffodil, hag, lag, sag, mag, tag, hoggle, straggle, straggle, hoggle, j, straggle, bad, badger, Sagittarius, badger, Sagittarius, sad, lad, mad, Ala- Alabama, Shamus, valid, ache, ancestor, anniversary animal, grass, fast, mass, cast, past, castle, castle, ash, mash, cash, hash, dash, bath, math, ha, Kathy, athlete, Hathaway, jazz, raspberry, back, jack, black, pack, Al, Al, Stally, Hallie, lap, hop, dapper, narrow, marrow, battle, rat, batch, catch, naturally, lather, rather, casual, casual, casual. Eh, I haggled carefully. We had a narrow escape at Saturday afternoon because the ants hammered away at picnic camper. Naturally, the man wore the badge after the sheriff handcuffed the casual athlete. Sensitize yourself. Sensitize yourself with this one. Resonance. Lesson number three. Lesson number three. Boy, the minutes and the seconds, the mode, the pitch varieties. Very small pitch range. Yeah. Fat, cat, laughter, rutabaga, 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 Met Gala, the Met Gala, 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 the Met Gala, Met Gala, Met Gala, North and South, North and North and South, sweater, sweater, sweater. Yeah. Ugh. Uh, boy. Yeah. At. Letter, letter, letter. Sweater, sweater. Bumper, bumper. Top, topper. Runner, runner. Es Esther was a good talker, but never a runner. But she never wrote letters. Esther was a good Esther was a good runner, but she rarely wrote letters. Esther was a good runner, but she never wrote letters. S- The summer went further and faster than before. The summer went further and faster than before. The summer went further and faster than before. And faster than before. Well, sure. Yeah. Air. 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 Bear. Bear. Careful. Careful. Rarely. Rarely. There. There. Hair. Hair. Head. Pay your pay your fare and then tell the driver where to go. Fare and tell the driver where to go. Tell the driver where to go. A teddy bear cares about its hair. Bear cares about its hair. Yeah, 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 yeah. Weird, yeah, here, cheerful. The earring fell clear of the nearby pool. Nearby pool. Earring fell clear at the nearby pool. Be sincere, my dear. It's a queer world. Be sincere, dear, because it is a queer world. Or swan. Or a endure, endure, ensure, ensure, cure, 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 cure. The the poor broker sought to ensure the floor sure to ensure the second floor. The shoe shiner ensured the broad the the cure for polio ensured Salk's name endure for time or for all time. Or Guar, Guama, Poor, or, or, Gore, More, More, Poor, Door, Sore, Lore, For, uh, the the spores will the spores will retrieve from the core of the ornament. The concord floor, floored hit the concord into flight, pouring forth orders exhaust. Ah, ah, hot, hot, ah, or, or, caught, caught, wa, I, caught, hop, hawk, abba, cartwheel, cartwheel. College sophomores were archery partners. The two sergeant were sergeant archery partners. C are all palace guards, qualified guardsmen, highly qualified marksmen. Marksmen? Ah, sorry, 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 very, follow, pair, pair of, pair of, pair of, pair of, soar at, soar at, soar at, sewer rat, saw it, met, prepare it, prepare it, prepared, Prepare. Year after year. The year. Year after year. One. Bird. Oi. Oi. Thirsty. Bird. Word. 30. Thirsty. Study. Bed. Bed. Bird. Oi. I've. Eve. S- s- certainly. Certainly. Oi. Word. Perfect. 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 Thirsty. Doisty. Doisty. Search. Search. Curve. Poive. Perv. Poive. The German Heudler was a scourge of the game. Scourge. Scourge. The German Heudler was a scourge of the games. Search the whole world, you, the whole world. Search the whole world. The whole world. You won't find perfect curve. East side, west side, all around town. Pots play ring around the rosy. London Bridge is falling down. Meme and Mamie O'Rourke. We trip the light fantastic on the sidewalks of New York. East side, west side, all around the town. Pots play ringbound. London Bridge is falling down. Lazy girls together. Me and Mamie O'Rourke trip the light fantastic on the sidewalks of New York. Gilbert and Sullivan in New York dialect. When you're Ryan awake in dismal headache, in repose is taboo. MSC may use any language you choose to indulge you. Don't impropriety. Brain is on fire. Blood close the fire. The counterpane goes and uncovers hose and your sheets demurely from under you. When you're lying awake in a dismal headache, the proposes taboo by Shudder. You could use any language you choose to indulge you without impropriety. When your brain is on fire, your bedclothes can conspire to first your counterpane goes and you uncurl your toes and your sheets slip demurely. Hmm. Door, law, claw, claw, claw. Oh, ooh, Brooklyn. Yeah, boy. Aye. Again, it's very, again, yeah, Gary. So, where, why, yeah, the Mariners, the Manas, the Manas, and the Blue Jays, Manas and the Blue Jays, bottom of the fifth and the top of the sixth. Why, why, why? Indolent. 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 Which is discipline to effort, habitably lazy. This disinclined to effort, habitably lazy. Habitably lazy. Disinclined to effort. Disinclined to effort. Couch potatoes who lie on their sofas watching television all day are by definition indolent. Couch potato. Couch potatoes who lie on their sofas watching television all day are by definition indolent. Synonyms: lazy, idle, slothful, sluggish. Indolent. Do indolent. Indolent. In do indolent. Indolent. Not inclined to exert oneself. Slothful. Not inclined. Not inclined to exert oneself. Slothful. Conductive to conducive to laziness. Languorous. Indolent. Not to be confused with abrasive, arrogant, brazenly impudent, impertinent. Impertinent. Disinclined to exert oneself, habitably lazy, conductive to inactivity, laziness, lethargic, causing little or no pain, slow to heal, grow, or develop, inactive, indolent, disliking work or effort, lazy, idle, pathology, pathos, causing little pain, slow heal, indolent. Indolent, having or showing a disposition to avoid exertion, slothful, inactive, or relatively benign. Relatively benign. Hmm. Indolent, indolent, disinclined to work or exhaustion. Favorite kings under whose rule the country languished. An indolent hanger-on, too lazy to wash the dish, too lazy to wash the dishes, stiffness and idle, S- stiffness, idle youth, slothful employees. The unemployed are not necessarily work shy, not in action or at work. An idle laborer, an idle laborer, idle drifters, the idle rich, the idle mind, not progressing or increasing or progressing slowly, not progressing or increasing or progressing slowly. Branch of a medical science studies the causes and nature and effect of diseases, pathology, humor, slow to heal or developed and usually painless. They're having or showing a disposition to avoid exertional sloth. And enhance, enhance, enhance it by enhance by 30 degrees in the upper right quadrant. We'll get 'em. No worries. No worries. We'll get 'em. It's over there. Enhance. Enhance is a verb. Make more effective or efficient. You can enhance your chances of being admitted to college of your choice by learning to write well. Synonyms. Hmm. Hmm. You can enhance your chances of being admitted to college by your choice by learning to write well. Synonyms: increase, improve, intensify, magnify. Make more attractive. Enhance is a verb to improve your argument, especially in effectiveness, value, or attractiveness. Uh, to intensify or increase in quality, value, power, improved argument. To raise to a higher degree, intensify, magnify. To increase the value, attractiveness, or quality of, improve. To provide with more complex or sophisticated features as a computer program. Increase. This will increase your employment, heighten your tension, make more intense, stronger, more marked. The efforts were intensified. Her rudeness intensified. His dislike for her. Pot smokers claim it heightens awareness. This event only deepened my convictions. Increase the effort or act synergistically with potent with increase the effect or the act synergistically with make better or more active. This sauce will enhance the flavor of the meat. Do better, enhance, do and better. Follower to increase the effectiveness or success of others by further action. Enhance also alter so as to produce a more desirable appearance. To endow with beauty and elegance in a way of a noble ambition. To look good on or with. To put in the best light. To make greater in intensity or severity. To increase or seek and increase the importance of reputation of my favorable publicity. Publicity is enhanced. That's what enhanced means. Enhanced. Enhanced this. Nah. Gratify. Gratify. It's a verb. Give pleasure. To give pleasure to. Laurie's parents were gratified by a successful performance on the SATs. On the SAT, please satisfy. Synonyms are please, satisfy, fulfill. Give pleasure to. Gratify. 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 So please or satisfy. To give in to higher archaic definition is to reward, to gratify, to fulfill, please, satisfy, give. To satisfy or please, to yield or indulge, to reward, gratify. Gratify an obsolete word for to reward. Gratify means give pleasure to a person by satisfying desires or humoring inclinations or feelings. To satisfy in obsolete definition, archaic definition is to reward. Gratify means to reward or remunerate. Gratify means to remunerate, 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 remunerate is to remunerate. Gratify is to remunerate. Gratify, make happy or satisfied. Give pleasure to or pleasing to. Use colors, please the senses. I, I, ah, content, to give content, to give content. I am content. Gratifying is to yield to, satisfaction to. Put in a good mood, engage without restraint in an activity and indulge as in when shopping. Shopping. Engage without restraint in an activity, indulge when as when shopping. Give what is desired and needed, especially support food or sustenance. The host provided the host provided meals for all the guests. Guests. The host the hostess provided lunch for all the guests. Gratify. Live promiscuously and self-indulgently. Gladden. Please. Delight, satisfy, thrill. Satisfy, feed, fulfill, indulge, humor, cater to, pawn, pander to, fawn on. To give great or keen pleasure to. An archaic mean a joy. To give, to grant or have what is determined by a need or desire. Gratify. Comply with the wishes or ideas of another. Cater, humor, indulge. Although I can't agree with you in supposing that I shall never again be exposed to the misfortunes as unremittent as those I have already experienced, yet to avoid the imputation of obstinacy or ill nature, I will gratify the curiosity of your daughter, and may the fortitude with which I have suffered the many afflictions of my past life provide to her a useful lesson for the support of those which may befall her in her own. It will it will gratify my friend to learn that Rosalind has had the verses I it will gratify my friend to learn Rosalind has verses I refer to by heart and start off humming in. Humming in. It's gratify. Although I cannot with you in supposing that I shall never again be exposed to the misfortune. I cannot agree. Obstinate. 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 S- it's an adjective. Unreasonably persistent, opinion, etc. Not easily controlled, cured, or removed. We tried to persuade Bob to give up smoking, but he was obstinate and refused to change. Blackberry stickers are the most obstinate weeds I know. Once established in a yard, they're extremely hard to root out. Their synonyms are stubborn, pig-headed, malicious, dogged. Mullish, mullish, or dogged. It's obstinate, stubbornly adhering to an attitude, opinion, a course, or action. Obdurate, obdurate, obdurate. What is obdurate? Tell me what this word is. Obdurate, obdurate, not changing in response to an argument or other influence. Obstinate or intractable, hardened in wrongdoing or wickedness, stubbornly impotent, impenent, impenent, hardened against feeling hard-headed, hard-hearted, obdurate. What okay. Not easily moved by feelings or supplication, hard-hearted, obdurate, obdurate, obdulate, obstinate, conerate, venerate, instigate, characterized by such adherence, difficult to manage, control, or treat. Stubborn pertains to innate, often perverse resoluteness or unyieldingness. Like she was very stubborn when her mind was made up. One who is headstrong, one who is headstrong is obstinately bent on having his or her own way. The the headmaster, senator, the headstrong senator ignored his constituent. A reluctant person who was reluctant rebelled against authority. The police arrested the reluctant protesters. Intractable refers to what is obstinate and difficult to manage or control. Bullheaded suggests foolish or irrational obstinacy. Pig-headed, stupid obstinacy. Don't be bullheaded, see a doctor. It's a pity the pious folks are so apt to be pig-headed. Mullish. It did have the word mullish. Mullish implies the obstinacy and intractability associated with a mule. Mulish. It is a mock of my own chalky insecurity and mullish youth that I pounded Andy every chance I got. Obstinate, adhering fixedly to a particular opinion, attitude, course of action, etc. Self willed or headstrong, difficult to subdue or alleviate, persistent, persistent, firmly or stubbornly adhering to a purpose, opinion, or course of action, not easily or readily treated, controlled, or overcome as a disease. Persistent stubbornly. He obstinates himself against all rational encounter and arguments. Uh, tenaciously unwilling or marked by tenacious unwillingness to lead, not obeying or complying with commands of those in authority, such as a disobedient children, not tractable, difficult to manage or mold, and intractable disposition, intractable pain, the most intractable issue of our era, intractable metal, stubbornly persistent in wrongdoing, obstinate, 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 stubbornly persistent in wrongdoing, not reformed morally or spiritually, unregulated human nature, regenerative conservatism, um, unregenerative, unregenerated conservatism. Ah, that's a that's a phrase. Unregenerative, regenerative, yeah. Devious, devious. Wait, devious, 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 devious. Not straightforward, parting from accepted conduct. Joker's plan was so devious that his underlings had a hard time following its shifts and dodges. Roundabout, cunning, cunning, not straightforward, departing from accepted conduct. Joker's plan was so devious that his underlings had a hard time following its shifts and dodges. Dodges, shifts and dodges. Roundabout, cunning, devious, devious, not straightforward, shifty. Departing from the correct or accepted way. Erring, erring, deviating from straight or direct course, roundabout, away from a main road or course, distant or removed, devious, not sincere or candid, deceitful, underhanded, of a route or course of action, rambling, indirect, roundabout, devious, going astray from a proper or accepted way, erring, 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 parting from the most direct way, circuitous, roundabout. Go on. Tell me what this word is. You can't do that either. Satirus, satirus, of a route or journey longer than the most direct way. Satirus, 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 satius, satirus, circrius, satirus, um, being or taking a roundabout lengthy course. Am I saying that right? Satirus. Securitus, 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 securitus. Parting, departing from proper accepted way. Securitus, securitus. Not straightforward or sincere, shifty, without definite course, vagrant, devious. Its literal meaning is out of the way, from Latin deva, de, de via, Latin devia, applied to a place that was remote. Oh, devia, from the Latin devia, applied to a place that was remote, because it was off the main road. Devious. Devia, it meaning out of the way in Latin. So devious means to uh, departing from the accepted conduct roundabout, off the off the beaten path, remote, indirect, and meeting from the accepted or proper way, misleading. Sluggish, 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 sluggish is an adjective. Uh, disinclined to exert oneself, slow to react. After 2 nights without sleep, she felt sluggish and incapable of exertion. Lethargic, indolent, listless, slow, lazy. Sluggish, sluggish. Displaying little movement or activity, slow and active. Lacking alertness, vigor, or energy, not indolent. Slow to perform or respond to stimulation. S- Stimulation, stimulation, stimulation. Lacking energy, inactive, slow moving. Functioning at below normal rate or level. Exhibiting poor response to stimulation. Stimulation, stimulate, stimulation, stimulation. And it's sluggish, indisposed to act, indisposed to action or exertion, lazy, indolent. Sluggish, not functioning with full vigor and bodily organs. Slow to act or respond. Slow or slow moving as a stream. Slack as sails, such as sails. Sluggish. Lusk means lazy or sluggish. Lusk. Lusk. Slusk. Lusk. 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 To lounge around, to sulk, lazy, lethargic, a lazy or idle person. Lush. Lusk. A lusk. Yeah, he's a lusk. What are you gonna do? Elon Lusk. Lusk. Elon Lusk. Yeah, he's a lazy ass. Lazy bum. Get him out of it. I don't want him around here. He's lazy, indolent. He's not functioning with full vigor. He acts slow or to respond. He's slow to act or respond. Slow or slow moving as a stream. Slack and then sails. Rubble. To move in a slower, sluggish way. Drubble. Sluggish also means to drubble, and drubble means sluggish. Slow moving or sluggish stream. Sluggish. Sluggish. Of a business, sluggish is not active or brisk. Business is sluggish. A sluggish market. Slow and apathetic. She was fat and inert. A sluggish worker. A mind grown torrid, torpid. A mind grown torpid in old age. In old age and slow, torpid, inert, sloggy, soggy. Altruistic, 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 altruistic is an adjective. unselfishingly concerned for the well-being of others. By providing college scholarships for economically disadvantaged youth, Eugene Lang performed a truly autistic deed. Unselfish, philanthropic, selfless. By providing college scholarships for economically disadvantaged youth, Eugene Lang performed a truly altruistic deal. Altruistic. Altruistic. Unselfish. Philanthropic. Selfless. Altruistic. Unselfish concern for the welfare of others. Selflessness. In zoology, altruistic is instinctive behavior that is detrimental to the individual but favors the survival or spread of that individual's genes as by befitting its relatives. Altruistic, showing unselfish concern for the welfare of others, disregarding your own advantages and welfare over those of others, others, limited to or caring about only about yourself and your own needs. No, that's not right. That's the antonym of altruistic. It's self-centered, which is means to limit or care only about yourself and your own needs. Egocentric, egotistical, egotistic. Altruistic, selfless, generous, humanitarian, charitable, benevolent, considerate, self-sacrificing, philanthropic, unselfish, public-spirited, characterized by kindness and concern for others, of or concerned with charity. And as Prince Michael's eyes rested upon the glowing face of the great clock in the tower, his smile, altruistic as it was, became slightly tinged with contempt. An, an altruistic act is an act performed for the welfare of others. After that altruistic exploit, Stevie was put to help wash the dishes in the basement kitchen and to black the boots of the gentleman patronizing Belgra- Belgravian mansion. Belgravan mansion. And the altruistic virtues of those the altruistic virtues have really prevented the carrying out of this aim. And the far greater flaw was that it was too altruistic. It boomed you and it boomed Jane, but I didn't get a thing out of it. Your desires for profit, which is sheer selflessness, you metaf- metaphor metaphorize into altruistic solitude for suffering humanity. It was very, it was built on altruistic lines. An inquiry to any one part is the concern of all. Is the concern of all. Altruistic. Altruistic. It's too altruistic. There's too much going around. Amorphous, 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 lacking physical form or shape. Amorphous, amorphous, lacking shape or definition. As soon as we have decided I, I, itinerary, 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 itinerary. We shall send you a copy right now. Plans are still amorphous. As soon as we decided on our itinerary, 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 itinerary. As soon as we have decided on our itinerary, we shall send you a copy right now. Our plans are still amorphous. Formless, shapeless, vague, nebulous, nebulous, amorphous, amorphous, lacking in physical shape, form, lacking organization, formless, lacking a crystalline structure, lacking a definite shape, formless, with no recognizable character or type. In chemistry, amorphous is not having a crystalline structure. Amorphous, lacking definition, lacking finite form, having no specific shape, of no particular kind or character, indeterminate, unorganized, is amorphous, of a mineral without a crystalline structure. In chemistry, not crystalline, not crystalline, not made of crystals. Glass is an amorphous substance, lacking definite form or shape. Something amorphous has no real shape or is irregularly shaped like pudding. An amorphous solid snack lacks perfect ordered structure of crystals. Other examples are glass, polymers, and rubber, having no defined form or distinct shape. Amorphous clouds of insects, an aggregated aggregate of formless particles, shapeless form of protoplasm, not having form or shape, lacking a system or structure characteristic of living bodies, lacking the properties, characteristics of living organisms, organ, organ, organisms, organism, without real or apparent crystalline form and amorphous material, amorphous structure. Not crystalline, is amorphous, shapeless, is vague, irregular, not this, not descriptive, indeterminate, unstructured, nebulous, formless, incrolate, 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 in, intro, what is it? Inchoate, 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 amorphous, inchoate, 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 beginning in a beginning or early stage, in incipient, ins, incipient, 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 beginning to exist, developing, incipiate, incipient, 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 just starting or no, just starting to be or happen, beginning, incipient, incipient, incipient. Incorrect is inchoate. Inchoate is the imperfectly formed or developed, disordered, or incoherent. inchoate, beginning in a beginning or early state. Incipient. Now we're talking about amorphous. Amorphous. Amorphous having no defined form or distinct shape. The next word is officious. 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 Excessively pushy and offering one's services. After a long flight, Jill just wanted a nap, but the officious bellboy was intent on showing her all the special features of the deluxe suite. Synonyms: meddlesome, self important, intrusive, overeager. Excessively pushy in offering one's services, officiate, officiate, officious. He was officious. Officious is excessively pushing and offering one's services. Officious. 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 I was only driving just down the block. I only had didn't have anything to drink. Don't worry about it. Officious. 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 Meddlesome, intrusive, in an offensive manner. Officious. Not to be confused with official, which is organized and authoritative. 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 Author authoritative. 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 Officious. Officious, mocked by excessive eagerness in offering unwanted services or advice to others. Informal, unofficial, officious. Vague definition is motivated by the desire to help others. Officious. Officious, unnecessarily or obtrusively ready to offer advice or services. Officious. Mocked by such readiness. Government, politics, and diplomacy. Officious is informal or unofficial. An obsolete definition of officious is attentive or obliging. Officious, mock, objectively excessive, offering unrequested, unwanted help or advice. Meddlesome, mocked by or proceeding from such forwardness. Officious used to mean ready to serve, obliging, but it does not anymore. It means nosy, meddlesome, intrusive offer of help or advice. Officious, intrusive in meddling or offensive manner. In, in an interfering old woman, bustling about self importantly, making an officious nuisance of himself. Busy about other people's business. A busybody, interfering, meddlesome, meddling, busy, intrusive, tending to intrude is officious. Officious. It's too damn officious. Your efficiency is officious to me. Stop being so officious. Pedestrian. 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 A person traveling on foot. A walker. I would have called them walkers in The Walking Dead, but instead they just said walkers because nobody knew what pedestrian meant. We could have just had them all called pedestrians. Ah, the pedestrians are coming. They're gonna eat your brains. performed in an unimaginative manner, unintentionally boring. He turned out page after page of pedestrian prose. Prose, dull, monotonous, uninspired, Prozac, Prozac, mediocre, Prozac, Prozac, Prosaic, Prozac. Prozac consists prosaic, 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 consisting or characteristic of a phrase. Matter of fact, straightforward, lacking in imagination and spirit. Dull, prosaic, 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 lacking imagination, lacking imagination. We're talking about pedestrian, 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 person traveling on foot, a walker, of, relating to, or made for pedestrians, going or performed on foot, undistinguished, ordinary, 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 ordinary. A person traveling on foot or walk is modified a pedestrian. Dull, or as a modifier, such as pedestrian precinct. Pedestrian is dull, commonplace. A person who travels or goes on foot, going or performed on foot, of or for walking, lacking in vitality, imagination, or distinction. Prosaic, 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 prosaic. Pedestrian, a person who travels by foot. Someone who walks, someone who walks, lacking wit or imagination. Pedestrian movie plot. Arousing no interest or attention or curiosity or excitement. A very uninteresting kind of a trip. Very pedestrian. Uh, a foot slogger or a foot slogger. Foot slogger or a foot slogger. A walker. In, out, around, a pedestrian. Pedestrian, pedestrian. Right, 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 trite, right, right, right. A trite, not fresh or original. It's trite. Boy meets girl. Boy loses girl. Boy wins girl back. What a trite plot. Plot. What a trite plot. Hackeyed, hackneyed, hackneyed, unoriginal, commonplace, trite, stale, pedestrian. Trite, trite, not fresh or original. It's a trite. It's trite. It's so trite. 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 That's trite. Not invoking interest because of overuse or repetition. Hackneyed. Hackneyed, dull, not cake form afraid or worn out. Right. Lacking in freshness or effectiveness because of constant repetition on on unimaginatively, right, unimaginatively pedestrian, unimaginatively pedestrian, right, no, it's not how you spell that, Trit, trite, not invoking interest because of overuse or repetition, lacking in freshness or effectiveness because of constant use or excessive repetition, hackneyed, characterized by hackneyed expression ideas as commonplace, repeated too often, overfamiliar through overuse, overfamiliar through overuse, Brahmadic sermons, Brahmadic sermons, mocks what trite and commonplace hackneyed phrases a stock answer, heating hack threadbare joke, parroting some time-worn axiom, trite metaphor hot as nails, trite, unoriginal, not original, not being or productive in something fresh and unusual. Manuscript contained unoriginal emendations. His life had been unoriginal, conforming completely to the ungiven pattern, to the given pattern. Fright, 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 unoriginal, worm, stock, common, ordinary, tired, routine, bill, stereotype, hack, pedestrian, commonplace, stale, banal, corny, run of the mill, threadbare, cliche, uninspired, hackneyed, dramedy. The movie was the movie is teeming with bright and obvious ideas. Right, right. Acronism, acronism, acronism. Ac, ac, a c h ron acronism, acronism, anachronism, anachronism, anachronism. Anachronism is a noun, something out of place, something out of place chronologically, not in its proper historical period, 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 and its historical period. In Back to the Future, when Marty McFly is transported into the past, his skateboard is an anachronism, anachronism. So is his Calvin Klein underwear. Incongruity is a synonym to anachronism. Anachronism, a representation of somebody existing or something is happening other than chronological, proper, or historical order. Order. Order, historic, historic, historical order. One that is out of its proper or chronological order, especially a person or practice that belongs to an earlier time. Anachronism, the representation of an event, person, or thing in a historical context in which it could not have occurred or existed. Person or thing that belongs or seems to belong to another time. Anachronism, error in the chronological, an error in chronological, an error in chronologically, an error in chronologically in which a person, object, or event is assigned a date or period other than the correct one. Thing that thing or person that belongs to another an earlier time. Anachronism. A person or thing remaining or appearing after its own time period. 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 Anachronism. An error in chronology. Chronology. An error in chronology. Anachronism. Something located at a time when it could have not existed or occurred. Act or process of determining time. Artifact that belongs to another time. A man-made object taken as a whole. A person who seems to be displaced in time who belongs to another age. Person who is unusual. Only fancy this was 2 years after his insult to me, and my challenge would have been a ridiculous anachronism in spite of all the ingenuity of my letter in discussing and explaining away anachronism. And finally, I am convinced that he is the perfect type of primitive man born thousands of years of generations too late, and an anachronism in his cultivating cultivating century accumulating century of civilization, who stupidly seals that heavy anachronism of stone in the Volcaning pavement of Perkan. Okay, another ward. The same anachronism is made later. And our ancestors had no great tolerance of anachronisms. Do anachronism. That's what an anachronism is. Anachronism. Lassitude. 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 State lassitude. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Feeling or state of weariness or listlessness. After a massage or a long soak in the hot tub, I gave in to my growing lassitude and lay down for a nap. Lethargy, tiredness, languid. That is lassitude. A state of feeling of weariness, diminished energy, or listlessness. See synonyms at lethargy. Lassitude, physical or mental weariness. Weariness of body or mind from strain, oppressive climate, listlessness, languid. Condition of indolent indifference. Lassitude. 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 Physical or mental weariness. A weariness of body and mind from strain, oppressive climate, etc. Listlessness, languid. Condition of indolent indifference. A state of comatose torpor found in sleeping sickness, mental lethargy, or dullness. A state of motor and mental inactivity in a partial suspension of sensibility. a feeling of lack of interest or energy. Lassitude, weakness characterized by a lack of vitality or energy. Lassitude, the property of lacking physical or mental strength, liability to failure under pressure or stress or strain. Lassitude, weariness, fatigue, exhaustion, apathy, tiredness, inertia, inertia, inert, inert, lang, lethargy, drowery, drower, drowishness, dullness, heaviness, sluggish language, listless, sluggishness, lassitude. And don't bring that lassitude in here. Don't give me that attitude with your lassitude. Autonomous, autonomous, autonomous is an adjective. Autonomous, not controlled or governed by outside forces. Although the University of California at Berkeley is just one part of the state university system, in many ways, Cal Berkeley is autonomous for it runs several programs that are not subject to outside control. Synonyms are independent, self-governing. Autonomous, 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 not controlled by others or by outside forces, independent, independent in mind or judgment, self-directed, independent of laws of another state or government, self-governing, autonomous, of or relating to a self-governing entity, self-governing with respect to local or internal affairs, autonomic, autonomic, autonomous, in government, politics, and diplomacy, a community or country possessing a large degree of self-government, of or relating to an autonomous community, independent of others. Philosophy, acting or being able to act in accordance with rules and principles of one's own choosing. One's own choosing. In the moral philosophy of an individual's will is directed to duty rather than to some other end. In biology, autonomous means existing as an organism independent from other organisms or parts. In botany, a variation of the spelling of autonomic. In Greek, autonomos, autonomos, living under one's own laws, living under one's own laws, autonomous, self-governing, independent of or pertaining to a self-governing or independent state, community, organizations, etc. Existing and functioning as an independent organism, spontaneous, autonomous, 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 instigate, 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 incite to an action. Rumors of police corruption led the mayor to investigate, no, to instigate. Rumors of police corruption led the mayor to investigate an investigation into the department's activities. Instigate and investigate. Provoke, stir up, form, foment, encourage, urge, instigate, instigate, instigate is to incite to action, instigate, 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 to initiate or bring about, often by inciting, to urge on, goad, to bring about as by incitement or urging, urging, to bring about as incitement or urging, to urge on to some drastic or inadvisable action, to cause by incitement, foment, to urge, provoke, or incite to some action of force, instigate, provoke, or stir up, incite a riot, to set off great unrest among the people, instigate, provide a needed stimulus for, instigate, activate, or stir up, to rise a mutiny, instigate, serve as the inciting cause of. She promoted me to all my relatives. Cause, instigate, cause to cause to act in a sufficient manner. The instigate, the stir to action of feeling. Instigate. He instigated a riot. He instigated crowd to approach the Capitol and prevent the counting of the votes as the instigates. Subsidate. Subsidate. As you Oh, subside. Subside. What am I saying? What am I saying? Subside. 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 The verb is to settle down, sink to the bottom. A doctor assured Johnny's patients that their son's fever would eventually subside and decrease, dwindle, abate, lessen, subside, to become less intense, active, or severe, abate, to become smaller or less prominent as swelling, and become smaller or less prominent as in swelling, to move or sink to a lower normal level, to sink to the bottom as sediment, subside, sink down slowly, settle down, subside yourself, to become less loud, excited, or violent, abate, subside. The rioters did not subside. The rioters subsided after it was known that the instigator had been caught. To sink or fall to a lower level. In physical geography, the surface of the earth has cave in collapse to subside. Subside as in sediment, to sink or descend to the bottom, settle. Subside to sink to a low or lower level, to become quiet, less active, or less violent, abate, to sink or fall to the bottom as sediment, settle, precipitate, subside, to wear off or die down, to sink to a lower level or form a depression, sink down, or precipitate, 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 descend into or as of into some soft substance or place. He sank into bed. He subsided. Subsided. Move Subside, move downward or and lower, but not necessarily all the way. Decrease, diminish, lessen, ease, moderate, dwindle, wane, recede, ebb, bait, let up, peter out, slacken, melt away, quiet, level off, de-escalate, subside. Subsided, ardent, 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 ardent. Expressed or characterized by warmth of feeling passionate. Ardent, 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 ardent. Characterized by intensity of feeling. Katya's ardent enthusiasm inspired her fellow protesters to make even greater efforts in behalf of the cause. Synonyms are intense, passionate, zealous. Ardent. Ardent, ardent activities of the ardent activities of the insolent rioters, the, the instigator, the subside for the ardent activity, for the the ardent officious member of the crowd to subside of the autonomous crowd to subside their altruistic activities. Ardent, expressing or characterized by warmth or feeling passionate, displaying or characterized by strong enthusiasm or devotion, fervent, 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 burning, fiery, glowing, shining, such as ardent eyes, ardent, expressed or characterized by intense desire or emotion, passionate, intensity, eager, glowing, flashing, or shining. A rare definition is to burn, burning, and burning everywhere. Excessively characterized by intense desires or emotion, passionate, ardent, intensity, enthusiasm, eager, is ardent, 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 ardent. Characterized by intense emotion, ardent. Having or expressing strong emotions, characterized by strong enthusiasm. Having or showing great excitement and interest. Glowing or shining like fire, emitting or reflecting light readily or in large amounts. That's it. That's it. That's the end. We're done. Ardent. 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 Ardent was our final word. Enthusiastic, keen, avid, zealous, passionate, warm, spirited, and sense. Ardent. 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 I want ardent. We're out of here.